We all know Harry and Meghan fled the royal drama, thinking they were finally free. But what if they might have just traded one set of puppet strings for another? And guess what? This time, the puppeteer is none other than Tyler Perry. Seriously, think about it. One day they're jetting out of England, claiming they're broke, under siege by the press, with no money in their pockets. The next thing you know, a private jet pulls them into Beverly Hills, straight into the arms of none other than Tyler Perry. I mean, come on, Tyler Perry, billionaire, filmmaker, and all-around Hollywood kingmaker, swoops in with a mansion, a security detail, the works. Meghan even starts calling him her protector and rock in interviews. It sounds like the start of a beautiful, albeit unlikely, friendship. Here's the thing about Tyler Perry. He didn't stumble into billions by being naive. The man is a calculated businessman who knows loyalty in Tinseltown is about as reliable as a Hollywood handshake. So what did he do? He documented everything. Every late-night phone call, every private meeting, every tearful chat. Perry calls it the vault, and rumor has it this vault is stuffed with so many receipts it could bury half of Hollywood. Yeah, it's that intense. When Harry and Meghan moved into Tyler Perry's mansion, they signed a residency agreement that seemed pretty standard. But sneak a closer look at the fine print and you'll find a nasty little clause. If they ever acted like Tyler hadn't played a huge role in their American success, he could unleash whatever info he needed to protect his reputation. Think of it like this: cross him and he's got the receipt. Not exactly what you'd expect in a friend's welcome packet, right? But apparently it was in there all along. Fast forward a couple of years, and Harry and Meghan are living that LA dream. They're signing multi-million-dollar deals with Netflix and Spotify, building a brand around raw authenticity and vulnerability. They're campaigning for mental health, talking about how real they are, the whole package. Then, out of nowhere, Tyler Perry's studio gets hit with a bombshell lawsuit, allegations of a toxic workplace, bullying, the works. The media pounces, and for the first time, Perry looks a bit rattled, a crack showing in his normally smooth exterior. Suddenly, things aren't so rosy anymore. Think about it. One day you're publicly thanking this guy for changing your life. The next, you're scrubbing his name out of your story. Photos vanish, old magazine features get quietly edited, mentions of Perry are deleted. They even nuked a Wikipedia page related to Tyler, as if it never existed. Anyone who's spent time on the internet can spot stuff like that from a mile away. But that's when things get really interesting. Remember that clause in their agreement? By pretending Tyler's help didn't count anymore, Harry and Meghan may have just unwittingly tripped it. And Tyler, being the meticulous guy he is, reportedly just sat back and smiled, knowing exactly what was coming. Then, almost as if on cue, the first bombshell dropped. Leaked audio clips started making the rounds online. The first one was only 58 seconds, but holy smoke, it was loaded. In that clip, you hear Meghan's voice talking strategy, how to use the Diana connection in their story, carefully balancing the grief angle. And then Harry's voice chimes in. Harry, Netflix doesn't want us crying too much. That one recording sent fans reeling. Social media went nuts. Hashtags like fake royalty and Sussex Gate started trending worldwide overnight. Fans flooded timelines with shock and anger, some tweeting, "I feel so duped," others yelling, "This is insane." Honestly, it was like watching a live scandal unfold on every screen. Weren't we all supposed to believe these interviews were truth-telling, not a performance? If you're as stunned by that as I was, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, because honestly, it was hard to tell whether to laugh or cry. Just when you think it couldn't get crazier, another leak dropped. This time, you hear Harry pacing in the background, working on how they should present themselves, looking polished yet empathetic, leaning into the pain just enough without seeming manipulative. And then there's Meghan again, saying, "Then we show the garden scenes. Calm, grounded, real, nothing too emotional until the third act." The third act. Boom! That's when you realize, wow, this really sounds like they're directing a movie, not just living out a story, but literally staging it. And what is Tyler Perry doing? Absolutely nothing. No denials, no press conferences, just quiet. He's letting the world do the connecting of dots for him. And trust me, the world sure did connect them. Get this, those audio leaks were only Act 1. The rumor mill went into overdrive. People started whispering that their whole brand might be a carefully choreographed act. Critics were saying this could be the final straw that shatters trust. Even loyal fans had to wonder, were we being played all this time? It felt like a punch in the gut to anyone who backed them from the beginning. Turns out, Harry and Meghan actually had a full strategy in place all along. Word on the street is they cooked up a multi-page document, basically a life plan with their signatures at the bottom. It's laid out like a film production schedule. Phase 1, Oprah interview. Phase 2, Netflix docuseries. Phase 3, build an empire out of so-called authenticity and heartbreak. I mean, the audacity! If this thing is real, it basically confirms what everyone's whispering. Their whole Speaking Our Truth saga might have been a calculated rollout from the start, a carefully plotted business strategy to rebuild an image, monetize pain, and control every headline. Everything was organized and polished, and it's absolutely devastating to their credibility. For their supporters, it was a gut punch. Everything we thought we knew might have been a curated show. The underdog freedom narrative just crumbled, and now onlookers were rethinking every tier and every interview all over again. It's kind of poetic, isn't it? Here they were, everyone thinking Harry and Meghan left the palace to escape control, to find freedom. But maybe they just left to start their own little kingdom, a monarchy of manufactured authenticity. In other words, it wasn't the fairy tale escape we all cheered for. It was strategy, complete with lighting cues, background music, and a freaking marketing budget behind it. It's the kind of realization that makes you wonder how many times we've been fooled before. After news about that plan leaked, sources say Harry pretty much lost it. Imagine him alone in a hotel hallway at 3 a.m., replaying every phone call and meeting, realizing the whole thing might have been a setup. He wasn't furious. Insiders say he was hollow, devastated, like his world just flipped. His calls with Meghan went from long and excited to short and cold. The partner who once seemed like his co-conspirator turned into someone he barely recognized. He was apparently telling a friend, "I realize now it's over. Not the story, everything." Source says Harry sounded so defeated you could feel it in that one line. It's heartbreaking. The prince who thought he was fighting for truth realized he might have been part of an elaborate show. Imagine that sobering up in someone's mind. Then he did the unthinkable. He picked up the phone and called London. Not Netflix, not Spotify, not even his PR team in the US. He called his father's office. Word is, it was a quiet, desperate message. "I'm not okay." And 2 days later, a private jet takes off from a small airport north of LA. On board, Prince Harry, all alone. No photographers, no entourage, and notice this, no Meghan. Just Harry heading straight back to the place he once publicly left behind. Can you picture that? The English countryside at dawn, mist rolling over the fields. A sleek black car pulls up to an old stone estate. The door opens and out steps Prince Harry. No flashbulbs, no crowds, just him walking toward what he once called home. For the first time in years, he's not running, he's coming back. No flashbulbs, no crowds, just an empty courtyard. For Harry, it must have felt surreal to be coming back into silence. Meanwhile, what's happening with Meghan? Well, as soon as Harry left the headlines, her carefully crafted world started to crumble. That new lifestyle empire she was building, it collapsed harder than anyone expected. Online comment sections turned on her like a living thing. Former allies went silent. Magazines that used to fawn over her suddenly passed on her interviews. Big brand deals she'd lined up, they quietly evaporated. It was like seeing a house of cards tumble, and none of the credit cards came with her story anymore. The irony is brutal. The woman who made an empire out of storytelling lost it in the moment her own story was proven scripted. The tables turned faster than anyone could have predicted. In an instant, the narrative of authenticity was replaced by skepticism and betrayal. And Tyler Perry, he's sitting pretty. The big lawsuit that was shaking things up, it quietly settled out of the spotlight. No trial, no headlines. He just stayed calm, let the rumors swirl, and his reputation actually rebounded stronger than ever. He didn't hit the talk shows or plaster the news with his side of the story. He simply let the receipts do the talking. He didn't lift a finger or even issue a denial. He just sat back, watched it all unfold, and let every clip and every rumor prove his point. The man everyone tried to write off turned out to be the one holding all the cards, or should I say, the tapes. Rumor has it his vault isn't empty yet. Who knows what else he's got tucked away? Seriously, picture the English countryside one more time, that same dawn light, Harry strolling out of that car, and what is he thinking? Where it is, he's holed up now in some quiet country estate, surrounded by just a few trusted friends, not planning any comeback tour, just trying to catch his breath and process what just happened. Somewhere between California's bright lights and London's gray dawn, Harry might have realized this whole circus never ended, it just changed rings. He didn't escape the institution of royalty. He took his spot in the boardroom of a different game. He went from palace manager to media manager, from scripted duty to scripted freedom. The cameras never actually stopped rolling. Someone just grabbed the remote. So, what's next? Is this the end of Harry and Meghan's story or the start of a new chapter? If Tyler Perry really holds all these receipts, who knows what else could drop?